10 years and 13 quarterbacks after Peyton Manning's departure from Mile High, there's a new sheriff in town. Right now, it's clear that the Denver Broncos have found their starting franchise quarterback, and his name is Bo Nix. Nix has this team top of the AFC West with a 9-2 record, looking down on both Justin Herbert's Chargers and even Patrick Mahomes' Chiefs, as he keeps finding ways to win with this team week in and week out. Bo and his Broncos are must-watch TV every week, with Nix emerging as the star of the show in the Mile High City. This is why we're obsessed with how Bo Nix plays football, and why he's the guy to take this team to new heights in 2025 and beyond. To begin with, let's talk about how overlooked Bo Nix was going into the 2024 NFL Draft. This was a draft class full of quarterback talent, from Caleb Williams to Jaden Daniels to Drake May, all of whom had dazzled during their time in college and were ultimately selected before Nix, along with JJ McCarthy and Michael Penix. Nix had an impressive collegiate career himself, including a superb final season at Oregon, suggesting that this was a reach on Denver's part, and that he was merely a product of the system at Oregon. According to Bleacher Report's Brent Sobleski, a significant portion of the Ducks' offense was built around quick hitters, half-field reads, and throws at or behind the line of scrimmage. He isn't the same natural thrower as other prospects in this year's class. With 5 quarterbacks already off the board, the Denver Broncos chose not to risk losing their guy. They pulled the trigger on a second-round quarterback with the 12th overall pick. But for Broncos head coach Sean Payton, Nix was the perfect fit for his offense. Denver had struggled in the previous 2 seasons with Russell Wilson under center, and for the Payton era to really take hold, they needed someone fully capable of running the kind of offensive system that the vaunted head coach used to operate in New Orleans with Drew Brees at the helm. Turns out, a quarterback who broke the all-time single-season completion record in college was exactly the guy that Denver needed to get this offense going. On draft night, Payton spoke to Pat McAfee and Bill Belichick about the pick, with the latter chiming in with his approval of the Broncos' 12th overall selection.
You know, Nix has played a lot of football, he's played a lot of good football, and it kind of felt like the short passing game was, this product of the system, but he could definitely get the ball down the field. And, it looks like he's nobody's NFL ready, but I'd say of the college quarterbacks, he's probably pretty close to being NFL ready. And, like you said, the best quarterback in the pocket, best in those situations. There's a lot to like about this kid. And he wins.
For all of the criticism that Nix received during the draft process and has continued to face since, it turns out that Bill Belichick and Sean Payton know more than most about what makes a successful quarterback in this league. And Nix has got to work proving them right and proving so many of the doubters wrong. The 2024 season saw the Broncos go 10-7. And return to the NFL playoffs for the first time in 8 years, with Bo Nix leading the league's 10th best scoring offense. Nix ended the season with more passing touchdowns than Patrick Mahomes, more passing yards than Josh Allen, and more game-winning drives than Lamar Jackson, as he took control of this unit and led the team better than any quarterback the franchise had seen in a decade. After a rough first few games, he would adapt to the offense and to the league very quickly, ending the season on 29 passing touchdowns and 3,775 passing yards, having played his part in some big wins for Sean Payton's men, including his superb Week 18 showing against the Chiefs, throwing for 320 yards and 4 touchdowns, securing a playoff berth as a result. Ultimately, the Broncos and Nix were outmatched in the wildcard round against the Buffalo Bills, falling 31-7. But there was no doubt that this was an impressive young quarterback trending in the right direction, and his contemporaries agreed. Nix was named the 64th best player in the league by his peers in the 2025 NFL Top 100, ahead of the likes of Jordan Love and Dak Prescott as the 12th best quarterback on the list. Out of the 5 signal callers drafted ahead of him in the 2024 draft, only Jaden Daniels outranked him on this list, giving further credence to the idea that Nix should have been selected higher that night. But whilst Daniels and his Washington Commanders have taken a serious step back this year, Bo Nix is guiding these Broncos to new heights in 2025. The team currently sit at 9-2 with their bye week, and Nix continues to be a big part of this Broncos resurgence. In his second year, he's quickly gaining a reputation as one of the most clutch quarterbacks in the league. His 5-game winning drives are more than anyone else in football, as he seems totally comfortable putting the team on his back when needed. That ability to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat has been a real hallmark of this Denver team in 2025, and Nix's poise and leadership are a huge part of that. We saw it in a Week 5 matchup in Philadelphia, where he led consecutive touchdown drives in the fourth quarter to overturn a 17-3 deficit and give the Broncos an unlikely road victory against the reigning Super Bowl champions. We also saw it in Houston in Week 9, against the NFL's #1 scoring defense, the Texans. This was a tough day at the office for the Denver offense, with Houston's elite unit keeping them to just 7 points through the first 3 quarters. But Nix was able to tie things up early in the fourth with a superb sideline pass to RJ Harvey, followed by a 2-point conversion to Troy Franklin. And after a messy fourth quarter, Nix took things into his own hands on the game's final drive, using his legs to roll out of the pocket for a 25-yard gain, which ultimately set up Will Lutz for the game-winning field goal. But as remarkable as these two victories were, they were both nothing compared to the insane 33-point fourth quarter at home to the New York Giants, which capped off one of the most ridiculous comebacks in league history. After a brutal first 45 minutes, Nix led the Broncos on 4 consecutive touchdown drives in the fourth, showing up when his team needed him the most. Once again, this was a combination of beautiful deep balls to his receivers, as well as that patented scrambling ability that he's shown off all year. On the game's final drive, trailing by 2 with just 37 seconds left, Nix didn't panic. 2 deep passes to Marvin Mims and Courtland Sutton later, and another game winner was set up, giving this team a truly improbable victory. Nix has spoken about not just the belief that he has personally, but the character that this Broncos locker room has as a whole. It's a belief, or a mentality, or a grit, or a toughness. We just have this belief if we get to the end of the game. It starts with a defense where you know they're going to stop them. At some critical moment, they're going to stop them, and we're going to have opportunity after opportunity. Most importantly though, Denver now has that statement victory over Kansas City to their name. For 10 straight seasons, KC has ruled the AFC West, with Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid and company giving Denver fans nightmares for years. But on November 16th at Mile High, Bo Nix led his Broncos to a crucial statement win over the Chiefs, capped off by another trademark Nix fourth quarter comeback. And this was the kind of victory that Nix needed to silence some of his critics. Nick Wright of Fox Sports, one of the media's most boisterous Chiefs fans, has been a frequent critic of Nix since he entered the league. But on the Monday after that trademark win, he had to give Nix his props.
Listen, Denver was better. Denver outplayed them. The most absolutely shocking piece of it was Bo Nix played a better overall game than Patrick, which I did not think was possible, and it happened, but fair is fair. I've watched every game of Bo Nix's entire career. I feel like that was unequivocally the best game he's ever played.
In Bo Nix, Denver not only has their franchise QB in place, but they have a guy able to go toe-to-toe with a division rival already destined for the Hall of Fame. And he's achieving this exceptional start to the season without any truly elite weapons. Nix's #1 receiver is Courtland Sutton, a solid wideout who has topped 1,000 yards twice in his 8-year NFL career, with his career high of 1,112 earning him a Pro Bowl spot in 2019. Sutton has toiled under some dreadful quarterback play in his time in Denver, but he's built up a solid relationship with Nix under center, and looks set to top 1,000 yards this season as the team's primary option. Beyond Sutton, the team's next option is Troy Franklin, who featured sparingly in his rookie year in 2024, but has played a much larger role in 2025, with 509 yards and 5 touchdowns through his first 11 games, which are solid if not phenomenal numbers. It's fair to say that compared to many of his peers, Nix is hardly playing on a stacked offense, which really puts Denver's 9-2 record into perspective. Every week, he's throwing to receivers younger than him who are unknown to the average NFL fan, and yet he's still making things happen for this team on a consistent basis. If this front office can add a serious #1 receiver to this offense, things could get even scarier for the rest of the AFC. As for the rest of this season, the Broncos look to be firm favorites to take home their first division title since 2015 and make a serious run in the playoffs. They currently have a 2-game lead at the top of the division and narrowly hold the 1 seed over the Patriots on a tiebreaker. At this rate, they might even wrap up the AFC West title before the final 2 games, which would see them face the Chiefs and Chargers. 2 more opportunities for Bo Nix and company to put the AFC and the entire league on notice. This is a Denver team that's only 2 years removed from an all-time embarrassing 70-20 loss to the Miami Dolphins in 2023, and the associated disaster that was the Russell Wilson contract. Today, thanks largely to the impressive performances of a second-year starter whose presence makes his team a threat in any game, that all seems like a distant memory. Quite simply, he's a guy you can rely on in the big moments to guide his team to victory, and contrary to what the doubters say, the Broncos are winning games because of Bo Nix. As Chris Sims summed it up after the Chiefs win,
Bo has anticipation. Bo has every throw you need in the book, right? Every club in the bag, however you want to say it, right? I mean, Bo can do it all. He can touch it, he can sidearm it, he can throw a laser, right? He can, there's a big hole in the zone right here. I'm about to get pressure. Let me just throw a nice little touch ball into the hole. Oh, boom, my guy ran right into it and caught it.
This is a young quarterback who keeps finding a way to win, and appears to have a clutch gene up there with the very best in the business. And of course, he's working alongside a superb offensive coach in Sean Payton, who knows how to get the very best out of him and his offense. Only time will tell how far this Broncos team goes in the 2025 season, but this is an AFC that appears more open than ever, and this Denver team are right in the thick of it, as one of the best teams in the conference. This is a group that plays excellent complementary football, with one of the league's best defenses constantly able to keep them in games, and Bo Nix and his offense able to finish the job in the fourth quarter time and time again. After so long in Kansas City's shadow, the Denver Broncos are unequivocally back amongst the league's elite, and look set to remain there for years to come. And Bo Nix is the biggest reason why. You just can't turn off Broncos games when he's on the TV, as Eagles, Texans, and Giants fans have all found out this year. The rest of the league needs to watch out, as Nix and his Broncos are already a very real threat. And the craziest part is, this is only year 2.